Miss Martin Muses. Welcome to Miss Martin Muses. And we have some House of the Dragon. Yes, Precious House of the Dragon Season 2. It is going to be debuting in 1 week. Now, the press has already been allowed to view the first 4 episodes, and people that went to the premieres in different cities got to see the first episode. So we're starting to see reviews coming in. Now, I'm finding them incredibly fascinating because of reasons. I've been concerned. I've been concerned with what I've been hearing and with some of the leaks. On the other hand, I have made it official that until I see the actual episode, I guess I cannot fairly make a judgment. But we do know of some choices they've made. Yes, we have 1 week. 1 week precious. And by then we will be nearly 3 days into the Euros. I am so excited for the Euros. I'm a football fan. I still call it football because that's the way it should be. But yes. So who do we have here? Oh, speaking of which, it is Mr. Grant Gregory. Yes. Now, there are some reviews I've seen that I think I might agree with from a certain point of view, but some of them are a little bit asinine. Can you imagine which ones? Like, for example, Rolling Stone was ridiculous, saying, "Oh, their names sound the same. Oh, what a bunch of dorks. Nettles or We Riot." Well, that's one change that I have so much rage over. It is not just asinine to leave out perhaps one of the coolest characters, but Nettles has a huge implication for Damon and Rhaenyra's marriage. Let's just say it. And also Damon's story. By giving it, should I put spoilers? Let me let me put a little tag here that there will be spoilers. Yes, kids. By taking away Nettles and giving it to his daughter, first of all, it's trying to make Damon look nicer than he is. My daughter. But as I've said, it makes Rhaenyra look nicer than she is. We really, really hope that it's just a rumor, but the more we hear about the expanded role of Damon's daughters with his second wife, not making me feel good at all. Also, Nettles is the only canon black character. So they erase the black character who's not only canon, but perhaps one of the coolest characters in the whole thing, and is waiting to just take center stage on all this. Yes. Okay, since we put spoilers, yes, she is like one of the only survivors of the dance, correct. And because Nettles comes from a commoner background, she is one of the dragon seeds. Dragon seeds are those that are bastard children of the Valyrians or the Targaryens. So they went out and sought people that could be the bastards. So, because they needed more dragons and more dragon riders. So all these dragon seeds kind of come up and audition, a lot of them dying in the process. It's really cool. Now, we do know that we are going to see that in this episode in this season, and that the bastard child of most likely Corlys Velaryon, the sea snake, is going to play a huge role. However, I got very worried because there was an interview with the actor, and he said how he talked to the showrunner and was all, "Oh, I can't wait till I do this. I can't wait till I do that." And then he said, the showrunner goes, "Oh, well, no, we're not going to have you do that." I'm not sure what it was that he was excited about, but sucks to be him. They probably are giving his thing to another woman. And I am a woman, but I'm starting to really get annoyed with this taking away from the male characters and giving them to women, or making choices to make the women more sympathetic. The women were just as awful as the men, right? Rhaenyra and Alicent were going around going, "Oh, I just is awful. Oh, I just wish things were different." No, they were they were ruthless. They had to be. That was the world that they lived in. When you play the Game of Thrones, you win or you die. So there you bastardos. Yeah, for all you coming in and all you that will watch the replay, these are spoilers, and we're going to go through some of the reviews. Another spoiler that has occurred, maybe a little bit of one, is they really play up the fact that Rhaenyra wanted Aegon for a son. And she gets all upset because it turns out that it is actually the child who gets erased from the planet. I think that that is an unfair criticism of people that are upset, because it does actually say in the book that Aegon was most likely the target, but he was too well guarded. So I can live with that change, except for the fact that we're seeing a pattern of, "Oh, the women don't want these bad things to happen." And no, I think the Rhaenyra that George R. R. Martin wrote would be perfectly cool with, "Okay, you killed my son, you killed the other little son." Kragan gonna dang it, Targaryen. Well, you know what? Wait, a Targaryen or a Valerian? Well, I guess technically he is a Targaryen. Here's the problem with that. Or rather, they are really playing up Jacaerys with Bela. I keep forgetting what the heck his betrothed is. They're pairing them up. They're having them do interviews. They're talking about their close relationship. And we should have seen this, that with the Oppression Olympics, they were not going to have Jacaerys A with Sarah Snow, just marrying Sarah Snow, or B banging a Targaryen. Yeah, so thought that that might be something that would happen, but no. It was Bela. Bela's the one. Gosh, because I get confused, like a lot of people, with Bela, Jayla, Hayla. But no, they're playing up their romance, and with the Oppression Olympics, it makes sense. They cannot have Jacaerys cheating with Cregan, and they certainly can't have him marrying a white Sarah Snow. Not gonna happen. Should have known, should have seen it. Oh, well. Not having Sarah Snow, I can live with, because it is only from Mushroom, and we have several different accounts, and it's disputed. So, from what I glean, it is gonna be exactly the way it is in the book, the original telling, what is it, Munkin's true telling, which is very straightforward. They took a liking to each other, for the boy prince reminded the Lord of Winterfell of his own younger brother. They drank together, hunted together, trained together, and swore an oath of brotherhood inked in blood. They made the pact of ice and fire. but no telling of Sarah Snow. That's probably why we haven't seen any actresses or anything, though there has been people trying to speculate. However, it's not. Now, if you wanna know more about the Pact of Ice and Fire, I do have a video about it. So, that's that. Yes, I have put spoilers on here, so if you don't wanna be spoiled, please don't be spoiled. Yeah. I this is my post-cat excursion. I lost my cat a week ago, 7 days ago. It's been hard. So you probably won't be seeing a lot of me. I'll be live streaming when I feel like it. Well, and also I have a surgery on Tuesday. It's like, really? What? I'm just waiting for a meteor to land on me, though that'll make Timon happy. So I've got some videos lined up, and I hope to be able to be live to talk about a lot of the House of the Dragon. But if I'm not, that's okay. But yeah, it's been rough. It's been a rough week. Hello, humans and other critters. Yes, we love our animals here at Miss Martin Muses. Yes, hello. Yes, I'm missing my kitty cat more than you can possibly imagine. I made the right decision, though, she was in late stage kidney failure and was starting to show signs of pain. And there's just no two ways about it. I'm not going to let her live like that. And she was having other symptoms as well. So she peacefully went to sleep in my arms. I just told her what a good kitty she was and to go to sleep. And she did. Her suffering's over. But that doesn't make it any easier after the fact. Okay. R.I.P. Kitty Cat. Yes, thank you. Yes. Okay. Well, let's go back to spoilers. I might be having some rage streams because I think rage helps me with my grief. Let's see. So, those are some of my thoughts about how these spoilers go along with this. Oh, we do have a spoiler about how they do blood and cheese, which I suspected. It's in one of the reviews. Maybe we'll get to it. So I'm going to hold off on that. But let's start with, first of all, let me make sure that they don't freaking dox me. Oh, since you live at this address, why don't you buy this deodorant? Yeah, you got to be careful. All right. So here's Rhaenyra looking very sad. Now, this is accurate to the book. Actually, she is almost inactive in her grief. They give her a little more action here, like where she's supposed to be looking for her son. That also makes sense with her grief. And those are the kind of changes you don't mind. I don't mind things that don't alter the story because let's be fair, there is not a lot. There's an outline, it's a history version, and sometimes several different versions. I just have a problem when what they choose to add changes things. Oh my gosh, wait till you hear about Allison and Kristen Cole and Blood and Cheese. It's enough. I'm just going to be laughing. Remember, these are spoilers. I have the word spoiler. All right, I'll just say it. Kristen Cole, the actor, actually spoiled this. I thought it was hilarious. They're going to make that part of the reason why Helena and her kids were vulnerable was because Kristen Cole was not at his post because he and Allison were clicking. The worst Kingsguard on the planet. What a loser. What a loser. And then it's like, that's going to be my motivation for really wanting to win this war or something stupid like that to redeem himself. It's like, oh, could you please just go away, you big baby? Gosh, but that's gonna be hilarious and hilariously stupid that he would make the same mistake. Alright, I'm gonna actually, I'm gonna not share this screen so y'all don't get seasick if you are watching. Alright, let me see. Are they telling me everyone where I live? They are not, 'cause I'm nowhere near Anne Hathaway. Okay, kids, let's look here. Vanity Fair says the show's second outing is more cohesive and more disappointing. Hmm. Based on the episodes I've seen. As if it's either biding its time or preparing a launch pad for the back half of the season. I know what's going to happen in the back half of the season. I would say a little bit of yes, because we have the Battle of Rook's Rest. Originally, we didn't think we were going to get it, but we will, and I will love it. But there's also the most ridiculous thing in the final episode. Ridiculous. All right. Season 2 joins the kingdom where we left it, on the brink of civil war. Queen Rhaenyra is in exile in Dragonstone, while Alice's creepy older son Aegon has taken up residence on the Iron throne. Both sides are shoring up allegiances far and wide, which is why the first episode opens with the most aggressive Game of Thrones callback yet. Visit with Lord Cregan Stark. Yay! You see, I like Cregan Stark, the old man of the North. He's a great character, and because of the Oppression Olympics, we now know that they're not going to ruin him. So, woohoo! I think they're going to do a straight telling of it. I'm only a little disappointed because they're not doing Sarah Snow, but I can live with that. At the wall. Rhaenyra's son, Jacaerys, has come to ask the men in the Night's Watch to fight on Queen Rhaenyra's side. That ain't what happened. But must go to the wall. And this is a change I can live with. Yeah, maybe it makes sense to try to get the men of the Night's Watch. Except for the fact that they're supposed to be guarding the wall. Okay, whatever. They want to show off the wall. Stark pledges his support, thus the Pact of Ice and Fire. He also explains that he has to hold his men back to keep the wall fortified. Why? Well, if you watch Game of Thrones, you can anticipate what Ned Stark's ancestor will say. Winter is coming. No. Yes and no. I mean, it's their job. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think the Night's Watch were ever, pulled to fight in a war, like reserve forces. Meanwhile, Dragonstone is steeped in a sadness that seems to engulf the whole show. Damon and Rhaenyra are mourning. Damon is fairly demented. Yay! I love the way the creator seems to just not be happy with the fact that people really like Damon as a character. He said something to the effect of, well, he's bad and we all know how it ends. It's like, yes, we do. But that doesn't mean we don't like him as a character, even though we know he's a horrible human being. And it's Matt Smith. That man's got so much charisma, it's ridiculous. So Alicent seems gripped by loss and regret as she lights candles in the church for all that have died. She becomes one of the show's most nuanced figures. You must accept the path to victory is now one of violence, her Machiavellian father tells her. That does not mean it must be wanton. I'm not so sure that Otto was Machiavellian. That doesn't mean it must be wanton. Oh, come on, woman. I know I sound a little bit cold, but guess what? That's the way it was. If you're gonna be royal, you're gonna play the Game of Thrones, you win or you die, which is why in the real world, if I had lived in the Middle Ages, I would have been a nun. Or in this case, I would have been one of the silent sisters. It's like, gee whiz, why deal with that? Okay. They say that they're more cautious about the use of sexual violence. Instead of graphic scenes, we get graphic childbirths. Yeah. In which the show's writers drilled into viewers' minds the perilous role of women in this barbaric world. Yeah, on its surface, I thought it was all fine the way they did that. It was just the commentary from the showrunners and the actors that made me go, "Oh, please." They're saying that Allison finds herself fighting to have a voice in the action. Well, you're the queen mother. She No, is it the queen mother or is it the dowager queen? Oh, well. She is constantly ignored by her rogue sons who act on their wildest impulses. Well, guess what, woman? You live in a man's world. I would remind you that when princes lose their temper, it is often others who suffer, says one of the few low-born female characters. Small folk like me. You see, this is where the show gets a little bit, oh, please. And in other news, grass is green, but they have like a character go, oh, it's us. Don't tell show. Don't tell show. And they say they spend very little time on these small folk. Well, as they should. Ah, that is one of the central problems with House of Dragon. I just don't care about most of the characters. True. They're all horrible. I'm trying to think, is there any character I actually like besides Damon? Because he's awesome. Well, I might like Rhaenyra. If they would take Rhaenyra and Alicent and make them their own characters in their own rights and not try to make it like, oh, we're sisters, we were best friends. That was a mistake in my humble opinion. And it leads to some very ridiculous interactions that should not happen. Not in a civil war. Not in that world. They shouldn't be meeting. There's not a single character with the wit of a Tyrion or the sting of a Cersei. I would maybe slightly disagree there. I might okay, I agree about the Tyrion, not the sting of Cersei, because the more Cersei got ruined by the show. Nor is there much in the way of one-liners. You know nothing, Jon Snow, or the night is dark and full of terrors. Well, we'll see. Sometimes those things happen organically. Aha, here we go. This is what I complain about. The writing drips with earnestness and on occasion even feels anachronistic. Exactly. Like that commentary we were just seeing up there. As when a character shouts, F dignity, I want revenge, and we make a sudden diversion into beef. They say that Cook and RC propel it forward, which I can imagine. They're both very good actors. Last time around, many scenes were so murky it was impossible to make out who was incinerating who. Okay. I know that they had some literal problems with darkness. Yeah, it was awful. There was that one episode. And they're saying it's enough to keep watching. All right, I mean, not bad. So they didn't have much of a problem with that. Um, Spoiler alert, but even though it says spoilers everywhere, Rhaenyra and Alicent meeting and having this big long thing in the final episode. It's so impractical, I just don't even know what to say. I think it's gonna be absurd. It's gonna be not only absurd, but it's gonna be really absurd, and I think I'm gonna laugh. They should have kept it the way it was in the book, that they were stepmother and stepdaughter. Alicent was a decade older than Rhaenyra, still young, but not her peer. It just brings, like, some angst to it, and I know that they're wanting to make it like women, but as I've said before, women in their own right. Alright, so here is one by Indiewire. Yes, I know I have privacy rights, and I know you are not telling the truth. I have no privacy rights. Alright, let me see, are they doxing me before I show this? I don't think they are. Yay, maybe they finally figured it out that people don't like being doxed. Okay, this is an Indiewire one. House of the Dragons review. Season 2 brings the fire early, but struggles to generate any real heat. Now we know what comes early. It comes in the first episode. It happens at the end of the episode. One of my questions was, would they have the guts, if you will, to do it? I am not a man. Go away. Um, they do and they don't. It may even be for legal reasons. The actual beheading happens off screen, which has to happen, in my humble opinion. I don't think there was any way that they could do it. But a reviewer said it was done very well and well edited. So you see, like, I am not a man with an active lifestyle. Well, I have an active lifestyle, but I'm not a man. If See, Ryan Condal and George R. R. Martin's hit Game of Thrones prequel still feels like it's merely biding its time between battles in the first half of a fiendish, flickering second season. Interesting. The opening lines of House of the Dragon Season 2 stem from a character I'm not meant to name, speaking of things that have no real bearings. Duty is sacrifice, the man says. I hope I can say he's a man. It eclipses all things, even blood. All men of honor must pay its price. Sorry to interrupt, good sir, but who are these men of honor you speak of? Are they hiding? Yes. And don't, people aren't getting it. They're not getting it. No one is a person of honor. There is no man of honor. There is no woman of honor. George R. R. Martin was writing a very kind of realistic portrayal of kings and queens, especially in England, among other things. There is no hero. It's the difference between Elizabeth the First and Queen Mary the First. Both of them were awful. Both of them did things that, or things that they did were awful. It's, who's right, Richard the Third or Henry the Seventh? It's a monarchy. And if there's any thing that Martin wanted to say is that men of honor, like Ned Stark, they don't survive in the Game of Thrones. There are aspects of Ned Stark based on St. Thomas More, who also did not survive the Game of Thrones. But being a Catholic, dying for the Catholic faith, for him it was a win. Because, yay, get to be martyred. Though it still sucked. Great movie about how that works, Man for All Seasons. I love the way the person says, "I hope I can say he's a man," because now we do know that there is some interesting casting choices where they're having a trans woman playing a man. So how are you supposed to refer to it? And if it's a gender swap where the trans woman's playing a woman and they gender swap the character, how are you supposed to refer to it? Things are so confusing. Let's see. Let me go. Actually, I'm going to go out of here. I just get so nervous when I go near advertisements. Gosh, so many advertisements. You see, this is why there's so much rage bait, because all you have to do is click on something and then they go ahead and just inundate you with ads. Let's see. I'm trying to get to where the person actually says something. Apparently, I am being misgendered all over the place in here. I'm just only getting male adverts. Okay, here we go. Let's look at this one. This is where they actually get to the advert. It's not that Martin and Ryan Condal's prequel lacks for action. The big premiere is quite a cunning little saga, where what foreshadows the big event is both neatly tucked away and hiding in plain sight. The kind of satisfying setup that's better once the dominoes have fallen. I know what they're talking about, the big event. But despite being easy to admire, if typically upsetting to watch, we know what they're talking about. The return episode feels little. The next 3 hours do too, standing in diminutive defiance to the soaring dragons, screaming masses, and crumbling castles that fill their extended run times. The spectacle is grand, yet the impact modest, and that, dear readers, means there are character problems. Yes, there are, precious. You see? You see? Now, let's see if the person actually gets to where they should. Oh, okay. Two of our biggest stars see their lights dimmed by sheer inertia. Rhaenyra is mourning the death of her son, Lucerys, blah, 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 after dying. Rhaenyra's path to the Iron Throne goes through her former best friend, Queen Alicent Hightower, and she means to get there by any means. Not her best friend. In sending Rhaenyra spiraling into grief, they also keep her out of the action. Well, she is out of the action. They're trying to get her into the action. One silly fight scene literally sidelines her as a confused, helpless onlooker. Oh, I am so upset. I am so upset because I know what he's talking about. That the most awesome fight ever apparently is going to be silly. It's the twins. And Alicent suffers similarly, with one son serving as king and the other feeding royal preteens to his dragon. Okay. Alicent is left with "What have I wrought?" arc. Well, okay. Yeah, it's enough like, shut up. Just fight the war. far too much screen time that should have been reserved to Cook, instead giving to boring beefcakes or Kristen Cole. Oh, yes, please. We don't like okay, finally I get a female ad. Gee whiz. Uh, boring Sir Kristen Cole. The jilted lover of Renana, whose jealousy fused an outside violent loyalty to Allison, serves a fine purpose in season 1, but season 2 keeps trotting out the right knight that wasn't to lesser and lesser returns. Yeah, he is a big baby. Quit it. Quit being a big baby, Sir Kristen Cole. And having him and Allison clucking during Blood and Cheese is the worst thing ever. It's gonna be funny, actually. It's like, what a loser. Speaking of hothead, season 2 also ties up its number 1 Chaos King, Matt Smith, in an episode's for long quest sporting all the bells and whistles of a stall tactic. Stuck in one place, check. Too many dream sequences, check. Other characters complaining they don't know why he's doing what he's doing, check. Yeah, I can see that. Whatever results of his sojourn may be necessary, it may be even so good we'll forget about this little dip in the action, but a Damon energy shortage plagues the first half of the season, and there's no adequate replacement in sight. Prince Blankhead is also constantly vying for the crown. Yeah, Jeannie Mac. They do have an awesome character, and they're not having her in it. Oh, no. Not that House of the Dragon doesn't try to mix things up ever so slightly. Yeah, they have a nice sailor named Alan. We all know who he is. And most welcome return of Masira, but their identities feel checked off a to-do list. They've been given a simple guiding principle. He's loyal, she's resourceful, they're courageous, and they follow that straight line to whatever yucky fate awaits. I'm just guessing here, says he. Okay, here, let me share this again. Oops, that's the wrong button. The resulting downtime from so much chatty table setting does offer curious audience members time to consider that what oh gosh, people, don't be saying this here. There's obvious criticism of macho patriarchal power struggles. You see, that's where it's like structures. Oh my gosh, yes, we got it. The recognizable parallels to modern politics. Uh-oh. Oh boy, I guess we're gonna get more. As well as a sly theory that the show is really an argument against having children. No, it's the argument against having a monarchy. New to season 2 is an upstairs downstairs undercurrent as the dueling king and queen subjects start to feel a little extra slighted, but it's too early to say if House of Drag wants to go full and or I wouldn't know. I didn't watch it. What it does do is provide multiple capital A acting opportunities for a few leads and lowercase b battles for audiences craving the sight of soldiers smashing into one another at full speed. The dragons are also used regularly and they look okay, but their first half flights aren't particularly imaginative. Huh. Thus far, season 2 has a hard time escaping its own trappings. The plot lurches forward. The characters focus on what we've already seen. New developments on either front do little to raise our curiosity. For those who want to tune in and be rewarded with exactly what they expect, perhaps that's enough. But for House of the Dragon's duty to Game of Thrones should only go as far as its prequel status requires. This is a fictional history, after all, and much like the backstabbing power players who make it up, no one is honor bound to stick to the old playbook. There's room for innovation, even if it's just seeing what a few of the show's ideas on repression and revolution would look like. Allison fight the patriarchy. led in the battle's significant consequences. Stop it with Sir Kristen already. Yes, please stop it with Sir Kristen, but I do not want Alicent fighting the patriarchy. She's playing the Game of Thrones just as much as anyone else. Her whole thing about wanting her son on the throne is the patriarchy. It says here that we all should be enjoying the idea of something giving us all something to talk about on Sunday nights, and that's true. This person gives it a C plus. Yeah. All right, let's see maybe one more. Season 2 House of the Dragon reviews. I'm not going to bother with the Rolling Stone one because I think it was kind of a stupid thing. All right, let's see what Empire magazine has to say. Let's make sure. Do not say my mother's maiden name. Okay. Looks like we're good. Oh, interesting. Because Michael Sapochnik bowed out. It's only Ryan Condal. That might be a bad thing. Okay. Not okay. All right, look who's here. It is Jacob Ironside. Hello. Season 2 is out already. No, it is not. It is debuting next week, but the press have seen the first 4 episodes, and people that were able to be at the premieres saw episode 1. Sounds like episode 1 is gonna be a great episode, and everything else might completely suck. Well, let's see what the Empire people have to say. Yeah. Actually, I'm just really fired up about the Euros starting on Friday. With the wedge now firmly wedged, blah, blah, blah. Condal is hardly rushing in to the fray, and where season 1's flaws have been addressed, its strengths continue to shine. Okay. Well, we all know that they ruined Rhaenys forever, and not just because she could have stopped the war. That's a small part of it. It's also the fact that she slaughtered all the peasants that they were trying to win over to their side. And if you know where Rhaenyra has issues, oh my gosh, go away. I don't want to talk to a human. Where Rhaenyra has issues later, spoilers here, it's with the small people. So thank you, Rhaenys. You ruined everything even more. House of the Dragon remains a spiky, acidic human drama, an astute, timely, and well-performed study of the way power and wisdom are often mutually exclusive, and the tragic consequences that occur when the former is exercised without the latter. Okay, if that's what they're trying to say about modern times, but for some reason, every time they say they're doing things with modern times or the modern thing, it's always going in one direction about how much you suck. Dragons are mainly a form of travel and something for the small Stark folk to be scared of in the early episode. The homicidal gaffe committed by Aemond, it was more cool that in the books where it wasn't really a gaffe, was merely the first salvo. The first parts may be summed up as impulsive, powerful men reacting in stupid ways. Oh my gosh, I know, but because they say men. No, Rhaenyra was on board with the blood and cheese. The results are brutal, including they say it, a nursery-based decapitation and a spectacular duel between identical twins. Oh, so they think that the duel is not stupid. Okay. As I've said earlier, we do know they do not show it. They use clever off-screen editing. I sprained my big toe getting out of bed. Oh my gosh, my big little toe. Well, dang it, we're all falling apart. And while one person thought the duel was stupid, this person apparently thinks it's okay. It is left to the more reasonable characters to shake their heads in disbelief, oh, for crying out loud, and hope they can pick up the pieces. As Hand of the King Otto eloquently despairs of his impetuous peers, they are but peacocks, all shrieking in feathers. Yeah. Now that is accurate to Otto Hightower. Let's see. Yeah, we lose Patty because, well, he's dead. All right. Well, that was a very vague article, but I guess it just has to be that way. All right. So that's 3 articles. I think that's enough. Give us a little bit of a taste. So we know we're going to get the twins. One person thought it sucked, one person said it was good. Some people were lamenting that Rhaenyra does too little, but at the same time saying that she does too much. I know that there's way too much Rhaenyra and Alicent because 1 second of them being together is too much, let alone a whole freaking episode. And if that's supposed to be the finale, oh my gosh, kill me now. I meant that metaphorically, please. The Battle of Rook's Rest is probably going to be awesome because I hate Rhaenys. They made me hate her, which is probably why I hate the show more than anything else. Because she was a kind of a cool character, kind of a bitter character as she should be. And then she kills all the peasants because no reason, just to stare. It's the equivalent of the season 8, episode 3 of Game of Thrones, where Jon Snow just screams at the dragon. Nothing. So I'll be happy to see her go bye-bye. Sea Snake might be good. I haven't heard of them ruining him yet. And Damon, I I think they keep trying to make him worse than he is, even though he is pretty bad. How do I explain this? It looks like they're making Damon bad, but doing it in a way to make Rhaenyra look better. Which, when things happen at the end of this story, it's not gonna make as much sense in my humble opinion. But that's my humble opinion. Yes, I do still have a cat here in my house. I had 2 cats, and he is now lying all over my Fire and Blood book. So if I wanted to even look at it, he would be fighting me. So that's it. That's looking at some of these spoilers and the articles. Thank you everyone for showing up, those that are here and those that will be watching on the replay. Please let me know also, those of you watching on the replay or watching here, put in the comments, what are you thinking? What are you thinking of what you're hearing? We have Mr. Grant Gregory AI, we have Snortopoops Cooper, we have Jacob Ironside, and many others. I've been seeing you popping in and out. Thank you for being here. I have some videos ready to go. As I said, I will be indisposed for I don't know how long. It's gonna, well, the recovery is gonna be long, but routine surgery. But when you're under anesthesia, you can't really do any live streaming. But I've got some videos and things coming up. Oh, Jacob Ironside watching the first season right now for the first time. Oh, well, I did say spoilers here. You've been spoiled. I hope you don't care about being spoiled. I think that you will see the weaknesses I'm talking about, Jacob, because the parts where they leave the source material to make a commentary are so glaring, it's ridiculous. And if you see anything that doesn't make one bit of sense, it's stuff where they departed from the source material. Love him or hate him, George R. R. Martin is a great writer. And actually, I lean more towards hating him. As a hate's a strong word. Disliking him. But the man can write. So, what did I say? Oh, yeah. So, I'll be in and out. Hopefully, maybe doing some live streams, maybe definitely showing some videos that I am preparing. So, watching. Oh, wait. I just got that from Jacob Ironside. So, have a great Sunday, everybody, and have a great day. Have a great day, and be certain to, I don't know, watch season 2 and either enjoy it or watch a magnificent train wreck. Playing for a quick recovery. Thank you. Yes, I'll take all the prayers. Yes, please. Thank you. Alrighty, let me do the outro. Goodbye, everybody.